Here is the main window for Quixel, the inventory management window. Here we have two tables, the parts table on the left and the products table on the right. Parts are the machine instruments that we create in whatever factory condition that we have, and then we have our products, which are made up from the aforementioned parts. Let's go ahead and demonstrate the basic functionality of part creation, modification, and of course deletion, as well as the products creation, modification, and also deletion. Here we have our add part menu. We can specify two different parts, whether they've been manufactured by a third party or manufactured in-house. Now each part that's created is automatically created in the database, which we'll discuss later, and hence is given its own ID. In the corresponding fields below, we can specify the name of the part, how many we have in inventory, the price or cost of each unit, the maximum number of units that we can store, and the minimum number of units that we require. We can also specify, if it's an outsourced part, the company name that manufactured it. If it's in-house, all we have to do is specify the machine ID or the factory ID that manufactured the part. Let's go ahead and create a basic part. Our goal product is a bicycle wheel. So for that, we need two different parts. We need a 1/4-inch bearing and a 1/4-inch bearing housing. Let's go ahead and create our 1/4-inch bearing. 1/4-inch bearing, inventory, 1. Our price per unit, $1.30. Our maximum that we have in inventory, 10. And our minimum we'll specify as 1. Now the machine ID in this scenario will be machine number 5. Hit save. And voila, we have now created our 1/4-inch bearing. Now we have to create our bearing housing. So as you can see, we've already created the next part ID here, and it's incremented automatically for us. So it's 41. We'll specify the name, 1/4-inch bearing housing, bearing housing. How many we have in inventory, we'll specify as 1. Our price cost per unit, we'll specify as $2. The maximum that we will ever have in inventory, we'll specify as 10, and our minimum as 1. Well, also, this will be, well, actually, we'll make this an outsourced product. So we'll specify a company name. We'll specify Engineering Corp. Just to name a few. Now we can create a product. Our product will be bicycle wheel. And the maximum, or the number of items in inventory as 1. Our price cost, well, we'll get the price cost in a moment. First of all, let's add our parts. Now we have officially associated these with our products. They'll now be subparts to help make up the final product, which is the bicycle wheel. We'll add the price together for both parts. Our maximum will be 10, and our minimum will be 1. Go ahead and hit save. Now in each of these tables, since we now have populated them, we can use the search bar at the top of each table to specify the part name. And in this case, I'm looking for the 1/4-inch bearing housing. So we'll just specify bearing housing. And there we have just successfully filtered our parts list. We can do the same thing in products, where if I mistype something, it will let us know that the product does not exist. And if I delete it, we'll see it there. Now, each of these can be modified. We just demonstrated the product modification, but we'll demonstrate the part modification. In here, you can select whether it is an in-house or outsourced. Again, It's all part of the modification process, but it retains its ID. This is not being changed in the database. It's not being deleted from the database and added back in. All we're simply doing is altering the data fields in the database. We can hit save or cancel. In this case, we'll hit cancel. But let's try to delete our part. Well, as we can see, we get an error message telling us that we cannot delete the associated part. If we wish to delete this part here, we must first either delete the product or remove the part from the associated parts table. So let's say we want to delete our bearing housing. All we have to do is click on our bicycle wheel, hit modify, select the bearing housing, click remove associated parts, confirm our selection, hit save, and now we have officially removed that dependency from our product. Now we can click delete, confirm our selection, and voila, we have just successfully deleted our part. Now let's move on to the storage component of Quixel. Quixel uses a MySQL database that can be remote or local, and it can be configured by the user. And then within the Quixel environment, you can configure the database connection. Let's go ahead and demonstrate that. To configure the connection, all you have to do is click File and Connect to Database. In here, we have 5 fields: our server name, our port number, which can be configured, our database name, the username, and of course, the password. At the bottom, we can test the connection to see if it works, and if it does, we can hit save. Let's go ahead and specify the server name. In my case, the database is local, so I'm going to specify localhost. We'll keep the port number the same. We'll specify the database, inventory, system, the username, which is Quixel, and then the password. We'll then click Test Connection, and it will tell us the connection has succeeded. We'll click Save, and there we have just successfully changed our connection. Quixel has 2 themes, dark mode and light mode. Now, dark mode is what we're seeing right now, and then we have light mode, which is basically the inverse of this. All we have to do is click View, and then select the dark mode option, which will deselect it. Now each window will carry the associated style with it. We can also change it back. Now let's go ahead and change it back. This concludes my demonstration. Thank you for watching.